Just do it. Just do it. Just do it, Javen. Just do it. I am so sorry. I need to change the name of the stream. I messed up. Okay, so this is part 11, part 2. Part 2, because I messed up. I cry. Don't worry about it, Javen. Just do it. It's okay. Unfortunately, G chooses the next moment to show up. He slams the flat of his palm on the counter and shooting us both a stern look. Although his tone's nothing short of jovial, the disapproval is clear in it. He is obviously misunderstanding the situation. It shall be done. Yes! Yes! You must prove that I am scary! You must also tell Toy that I am scary as well. Thank you, Javen. Shade and everyone else in chat, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I'm too small-brained for this world. I'll do both. Thank you. Toy isn't in my Discord, by the way, so you'll have to go to him directly. Although his tone's nothing short of jovial, the disapproval's clear in it. He's obviously misunderstanding the situation.
Boys, summer's nice and all. I used to watch these bloody god-awful afternoon serials with one of my brothers many, many years ago. But listen, I am not having one in my pub, all right? You two want to fight? Go out.
A pregnant pause. Then without any preamble, Zach and I are both snickering, and Gia's glower melts into a conclusion. When we both show no sign of stopping, he simply shakes his head and turns away. I'd like to think that it's better this way. Better that we part on light terms, so Zach won't have to see every little insecurity, every little doubt in me right now. He's seen enough. The last thing I want him to glimpse is another display of weakness. Not when he still stares at me with the same unerring confidence in his eyes. When our mirth dies down, before anything can be said further, before I change my mind, I step away from them. Giving Zach's shoulder a quick few pats, mumbling a lame excuse about taking another short nap under my breath. Check Discord real quick. Oh no. There. Thank you. Thank you, Javen. Thank you. Highly appreciate it. I truly am evil. Yes, yes. This is what evil people do. Although burying the stray thought that flashes fleetingly in my head. Zach has seen me at my lowest plenty of times. Why does all of it matter now? The sun hangs lower when I stumble back into consciousness and drag myself downstairs. Around this time, the patrons usually start to trickle into the main lounge until it reaches a peak around midnight. Today, however, it remains thin. Wait, you directed messaged them? Damn. I thought you were gonna do it in the garden to show everyone in the garden that I'm scary. But yeah, I respect. Respect, Javen. Respect. I can do both. No, it's fine. It's fine. How did you find them? What the fuck? Oh, Jesus Christ. What is happening? But considering what day it isn't too worrisome for the kind of business G runs. I have many abilities, some considered to be unnatural. Fair enough. He has always complained about the lack of a decent crowd on week start, although he doesn't really begrudge his customers for it. No one wants to start the week with a bad case of a hangover, after all, even him. Which makes the concerned look he gives me come off a bit odd. With the kind of danger we're in, this swiftly puts me on the edge, even before the sleep completely fades from my mind.
Something wrong, G?
G hums, but there's an undertone of annoyance in it despite his casual and open movements. And only after he finishes wiping a tumbler and carefully settles it face down on the table does he give me an answer. The way he stares back at me honestly makes me squirm. It feels like I'm being stared down by my primary school teacher for sleeping in class again. Should I at Toy? He's not in the garden! Toy doesn't join the garden. He just cries. He won't join my garden. He refuses. Damn it is! The way he stares back at me honestly makes me squirm. It feels like I'm being stared down by my primary school teacher for sleeping in class again.
Nothing much. Monday's still a slow day for this place. But you, might want to check on your friends, kid.
Which one?
Looks like one of them woke up on the wrong side of the bed while you were out.
Oh, probably Isabella. Another question forms in my head along with a small confused frown. Though before a single syllable slips past my mouth, he gestures his head on the far side of the main lounge. Isabella has settled on one of the tables set in a corner, in deep thought and with a scowl on her face. From the looks of it, it appears woke up on the wrong side of the bed is a complete understatement. Turns out sleep isn't just what some of us need. Even G appears to understand it. In spite of his efforts to look unconcerned as possible, there's a tense set on his shoulders. I am Scary Ski. Yes. I am very scary. I totally did not accidentally end the stream and then restart it apologizing as well. I don't make mistakes. I am a terrifying beast. What do you mean I'm not close to scary? I am now sad. I cry. A nervous edge lingers in his eyes as it occasionally flickers over Isabella. No! There! It's people like you why I have a sad prayer emote. Fear me! Fear me! No! He doesn't want to deal with this, especially at the start of another busy week. But yeah, sorry for bothering you, my dude. I know you're busy. Thank you, though. I always appreciate seeing you. Yes. Not that I know how. I don't even know what put her in such a bad mood. Dude, being haunted by a ghost would put you in a bad mood. She put out a hit. No, J-Van, don't call me out like this. What? You offered. You offered. You said I was scary, and I wanted other people to know. But the imploring gaze G directs at me leaves me with no other choice. It almost feels like he's guilting me into doing something about it. What do you... Yeah! Wait, okay, I mean, yeah, of course. Of course you were intimidated into it. Why else? What else could I do? Obviously. I hate that it's working.
You know how I run this pub, kid. No fist fights, no cat fights, no people in sullen moods, only good booze, bad puns, and off-key singing.
Hey, that sounds nice. Thank you, Javen. I'm trying. Yes, I am very intimidating. Yes. Rar. I'm sorry.
Go fix it before it turns into something chaotic.
I'm sorry for roaring. It's probably not as petty if Isabella's already in that state, but I gave him a nod nevertheless.
Sorry about this, G.
Yeah. Take his word for it. I am scary. He hums something under his breath for an answer and waves me off, turning away and returning to his work without another word. Even with the lack of a sizable crowd, he likes to keep busy. We're the same in that regard. We can't remain still, always has to stay moving, doing something, thinking, whatever keeps the brain at work. Wait, okay, that's mean, bro. Why would you call me a thing? That's mean. Now my feelings are hurt. You're a ferocious beast. Thank. Wait, that emoji. No. I'm scary. I cry. You're doing well and then you got offended. Cause you called me a thing! I'm a plant, not a thing! I leave him to it shortly after. Part of me wants to thank him for all the trouble he has taken for people he barely even knows. It was funny joke! Once this is over, I should probably find some way. Fair enough, Javen. Fair enough. I, in the meantime, have this immediate problem to fix. Gotta get to this before it turns into a shitstorm. There's a strange lull in this area of the pub. People continue to trickle out instead of in, and this time only 2 tables remain occupied. Make it something ominous? Let me see if I can find one that's ominous. Make it something ominous. What is an ominous quote? I can't think of anything ominous, so I'll go with something silly instead. Where is it? Where is it? Wait, no! I swear I'm intelligent. Yes, very ominous. Perfect. Oh, asking myself, am I doing this for me or am I performing for others? That's one. But the one I'm looking for is the dude who said, I thought I was being a good father until my child looked at an owl and called it a tree penguin. And then I just remembered I didn't teach him what an owl was. That's the one I really wanted to say. But we can go with the asking myself, am I doing this for me or am I performing for others? But remember tree penguin, man. I like tree penguins. People continue to trickle out instead of in, and this time only 2 tables remain occupied. That would have been ominous. Wait, the tree penguin? Soon, these people too will be gone, and the whole place will be devoid of anyone. Frankly, its current state already lends the place an entirely different vibe. Along with the soothing strum of strings and the steady beat of drums playing overhead, there's a calming sense to this. Well, birds actually are quite a common fear, I've noticed. A far cry from the times I've been here before. Like, there's a funky looking bird I like sharing with people. Because he always looks so special, and I love him. Which one? Which bird am I talking about, Javen? Which bird? Which bird am I talking about, Javen? Which bird? Cause it ain't a tree, a tree penguin. It's not a tree penguin. Why am I struggling? What's a patou? What bird is that? What? Wait, I need to Google that now. What bird is that? The ghost bird? Ghost bird? Oh, no! But similar vibes. Similar vibes. I like his face. You have to listen to its call? Okay. Similar, you say. Yes. Yes. Similar, I do say. Because this is him. You compare me to what? What did you just call me? Cassowaries are huge, bro. It's a frogmouth bird. Yeah, I'll find a better picture of him. I should really not play the letter when I'm in a play any visual novel when I'm in a bad mood. Because I will just get distracted. He looks traumatized. I relate to him so hard. I love it. Look at the trauma. He's just a little guy. They do have similar vibes. I love him. He's great. A far cry from the times I've been here before. And then it's just the frogmouth bird. Oh, he does, doesn't he? We'll have Evil Lucky. There we go. A different Evil Lucky. So, ghost bird sound? No! This sounds relaxing. He's a good boy. Also, I'm gonna have another video play in the background. I'm gonna have another video play in the background to keep me on my toes. If you know what that sound was, you're great. I think you're neat. Okay, finally, we're gonna do things now. A far cry from times I've been here before. And perhaps it's for this reason why Isabella has chosen this place to retreat. She sits quietly in the furthest corner of the room, in one of the tables set right beside the windows. G usually keeps the curtains close around this hour, but a small portion of it has been pulled back, revealing the busy streets outside. The late afternoon light spills right through it, outlining her small form and pooling on the surface of the table, where both her arms rest. She kept the paper? I mean! Yeah, it can make that sound. I believe it. In her hand, she flips a piece of folded paper, turning it from one side on the other without any purpose. The letter. A small frown creases her forehead while she stares at it, yet there is something oddly tranquil in the picture she has unknowingly painted. Something I can't bring myself to disturb, if only for a few seconds. It's one of those moments again. The rare ones, the ones where she's still too quiet. A complete opposite of her usual self, but it's these that often leave a mark. Not her cheery disposition or lively attitude, but these short few seconds of wordless silence when the softest sighs and the slightest movements sing louder. The smallest, minuscule things that tell you about the person and her strength more than any words can express. It's these that carve a vivid memory no matter how brief it lasts. And it breaks soon enough the second I pry the letter off her hands and flop down on the empty seat next to her. I love that noise. I'm sorry. She glares at me, annoyed, and just like that, all of it melts away. Gone is the stillness, replaced quickly by the teasing and friendly jibes. Back again to what we're used to. What's easy, what's familiar. Where every truth we hope to convey regrettably goes unsaid between us.
You're going to destroy an important piece of evidence if you keep doing that, Belle.
This time, however, no retort comes from her. Without the letter to get daggers out, she turns on her hands, now clenched tight in front of her. But she's far from angry. A bit upset, maybe. Who wouldn't be? This curse has already gone far too long. Has already taken someone we care about from us. Regardless, Isabella doesn't seem like she'll start shouting at me, at least compared to every other people I've aggravated, intentional or otherwise. Some light talk may just do the trick and coax her out of this mood.
Come on. If you keep staring at the table like that, you're going to bore a hole on it. I really don't want to OG a new table. He'll pick the most expensive one and leave me begging on the streets.
She levels a quick glance at me, her expression dry and impassive, enough to drain every color out of the room. It's as if I've just told her a terrible joke, and she's expecting there'll be more of it. Really now. She needs to give me more credit than that. My jokes are funny when I want them to be.
And I really don't care. I'd even take pictures and post them online. Go away, Ash. I don't want to talk right now.
Yet, it sounds half-hearted at best. Like, what's happening has already sapped every bit of energy in her, and all that's left are the words. Pretty soon, those two will lose their meaning and leave a hollow shell in their wake. It's already unusual to see her like this. Everything has already gone to shit. I'd like at least this one thing to stay normal. So somehow we manage. We continue for a better half of the hour talking, joking with her short, feeble responses and banter that never goes anywhere. But it's enough. In the grand scheme of things, amidst the chaos and death overshadowing us, it's these little inconsequential moments that matter. It's her smile, her laughter, when it finally rings, easy and free of her burdens.
Okay, I have another one.
I don't want to hear it, Ashton. Go away.
No, really, listen.
Ashton, you should shut your cake hole.
I know someone who talks like an owl.
I almost fell for it! I hate myself! Why did... I almost fell for it! No! Why? No!
Will you leave me alone if I bite and ask who?
Yeah! Filipinos bite! Let's go, Isabella! A pause. And then she frowns as a realization slowly dawns on her. Confusion flashes fleetingly across her face before eventually settling on a grimace.
Oh.
Suddenly, she hugs her arms closer to herself and looks away, perhaps in her best attempt to stay angry. To no avail. In a matter of seconds, her shoulders shake with laughter. She's trying to contain. I can't believe it took me a second to get it. I hate it.
You're awful and I really hate you. Just leave.
Agreed! Stinky! It's contagious, her mirth. Soon I'm joining her in on it, briefly forgetting every problem that has piled up and continues to weigh down on us. Laughing without reservation or care until only a familiar warmth lingers, once both our amusement ebbs away. Somehow with her, these things always have come easy.
Feeling better?
A little. You're still lame.
But you're laughing right now.
Only because your humor is terrible.
Who would make a joke like that? Jeez.
Right. Keep telling yourself that. I know it's funny. And you know what? If you've kept frowning like that, your face might have cracked. That would have been really messy and ugly.
Damn. If Glarus can kill with the one she sends my way, I'll probably be dead by now. Seeing it directed my way, it takes only a few quick seconds for me to realize how she might have also taken my statement. How wrong and rude it might have sounded in her ears. However unintentional it is. I've never been good with words, but it's never an acceptable excuse, is it? Suddenly, taking the brunt of her anger seems less complicated than correcting or explaining myself. Nevertheless, I try. I'm gonna pause that video before Nintendo decides to strike me. I love that noise though. Okay. Suddenly, taking the brunt of her anger seems less complicated than correcting or explaining myself. Nevertheless, I try.
What? Crap. Damn it, that was so not what I meant. I was just saying you look better when you're smiling.
You look prettier when you smile. Her glare doesn't wane, in fact. I think it intensified like the brewing storm. In the face of it, under the sharpness of her stare and annoyance, I do what any person with a good sense of preservation does. Keep my mouth shut and shift my attention elsewhere. The crowd outside looks very interesting today. Maybe I should...
Thanks, Ash.
She utters all of it in a voice too small, too quiet, and when I turn to her, only those words, her gratitude, resonate throughout the whole room. Not the soft clinking of silverware somewhere, nor the last strains of music fading into silence above us. Instead, it's the meaning behind her gaze, as she holds mine, that lingers. Steady, unflinching and open, in the same way she looked at me all those years ago, with bright eyes and an expression softening into a tender smile. I didn't understand it then. How easy it is for her to wear her heart on her sleeve. How she never shies away from expressing herself, even among people she barely knows. How she can go through everything without losing herself. Now it's among the hundreds, the thousands that hang unspoken between us. Trivial little things with worth still too big to put into words. Either because it's too early or because there's never really a proper time. For now, though, this'll do. Until the moment itself dwindles. I have to blow my nose. I am actually dying. Until the moment itself dwindles. Until reality pulls us back in, reminding us of the things we've set aside in its favor.
What was that about earlier? You look like you're about to wage war on that letter.
Oh, it's nothing. You probably won't like it when you hear it.
Maybe. You haven't said anything yet, so how am I supposed to decide how to react?
A small frown returns to her face, although it lacks the same anger from just a few minutes ago. The bitterness stays. Now there is also uncertainty. It takes another minute until she speaks again. This time, she doesn't meet my eye.
I was just thinking...
Wait. I think I might have interrupted her. Oh, I did!
I was just thinking... Maybe we should go back to the mansion.
Blood freezes in my veins immediately before I can think further what to say. My mouth's moving, a disapproval ready at the tip of my tongue.
Isabella, you know that's...
I know, Ash. I just thought we'd find something in there. That if I go back, we'll get the answers we need. I found the letter there, so maybe, right?
It's not that I don't agree with her. Hell, I've been considering the same thing. It's the only lead we have after all, but it's not going to be a simple walk in the park. Who knows what we might find in there? If I bring her with me, I won't be able to guarantee her safety. She'll be in even greater danger. Hence, alone. Exactly as I have told Zack. If there's a need to go back to that accursed place, I'm doing it on my own. Whether or not the rest of them agree with this plan is inconsequential. Their well-being is my top priority, and I'm not about to drag them in there with me. So I tell her as much, despite the determination and desperation in her eyes. I actually genuinely don't know which one to pick. She's just gonna be angry if I say I can't do that. I'm just gonna tell her it's dangerous, even though she also knows that, and she will still be angry. Let's go. Okay, it's dangerous.
Forget it, Belle. You're not going back to that mansion.
Oh, it went down. Okay.
But Ash, what about...
This isn't up for debate. Do you really think they'll just let you in? Do you really think they'll give a damn if you walk in there carrying that stupid letter of all things?
Oh. You're going that route. Okay.
No, but there has to be something we can tell them. Ash, they were with me during the open house. They have to know. They're in as much trouble as we are. They're living in that place. That ghost woman came from there. Both her and the letter. Something's in that house, Ash. And whatever it hides might be the only thing that'll get us out of this mess.
All right. Suppose you do find an answer there. What happens? Let's say that by some dumb luck, you got inside and found something.
What if you see her again? What if she goes after you? What are you going to do?
It's not like we have any other choice. Besides, I'm pretty sure you've already thought of the same thing. Admit it.
That doesn't mean I'm going to let you run straight into trouble. What you're planning to do is risky, for you. Give it up, Isabella.
Unexpectedly, Isabella merely clams up. No resistance, no further argument like I've come to expect from her. Uncharacteristic. Just a silence that stretches far too thin, till the air in the whole room grows awkward and suffocating. A standstill that'll get us nowhere. Although, if there's one thing our talk has wonderfully succeeded at, it's making me feel like a total asshole and a hypocrite. And I am, considering my plans tonight. Sure, I can tell her, but what good would it do? I've already told Zach. One person is enough. Hell, simply letting someone in on the plan makes me iffy. Broadening that circle and revealing too much would just cause another pointless concern. But someone has to be aware, at least of where I'm heading off to, in case things don't pan out. Expect the worst, even if I've only intended to do a quick survey of the place. In my own words, risky. Isabella doesn't need to be burdened with the worries my entire scheme entails. I like to think that yes, to some extent she understands. Even if she does not entirely agree with me, the dilemma's clear in her. Otherwise, her scowl wouldn't have a deeper set to it. Her lips wouldn't be pressed in a thin line, or her hand would no longer be balled into fists. She wouldn't push that argument, if she doesn't. And I know she has no lack of things to say. Maybe it's because she's already thought of the same thing. Maybe my words have made her come to her senses. Either way, it's the best that we simply leave it here for now. Without another word, I stand up. At the same time, footsteps shuffle from the pub's entrance, and cheerful chatter suddenly fills the room as a group of people enters. It's all the distraction I need. Muttering an excuse, I beat a hasty exit out of the main lounge and leave her on her own, despite the disappointed look on her face. Before Isabella can say what she's been mulling over, before the last imploring gaze she directs my way forces me to change my mind. It's another lasting image that firmly etches itself in my memory, one that spurs the conscience, among other things. I just hope I won't regret what I've chosen for myself tonight. Galway Shaw's Monday night crowd, although small and barely occupies a quarter of the whole pub, provides ample enough cover for anyone who wishes to leave the place unnoticed. Just exactly what I need tonight, with the lively music and chatter, Slipping out, mostly unseen, becomes a piece of cake. Without much trouble, soon enough, I find myself sounding outside, under the chilly Luxembourg night. A gust of wind picks up shortly after I step out, carrying the telltale smell of an impending rain. I'll give it about an hour or two before it starts. From the looks of it, tonight will be another downpour, maybe even stronger than the one we've had this morning. On instinct, I hunch further into my jacket, hugging its thick material closer to my body while I weave my way through the lines of empty cars in the parking lot. The letter crinkles in my pocket with each step I take, though I pay it no mind as I hurry towards my car. I've nicked it minutes ago from Isabella's belongings on my way out. If this is all connected, I need this damn piece of paper with me. However ridiculous it sounds, I'm quite sure it won't be missed either. But I can't waste time here and wait for her to find out, can I? 4 hours is all I'm giving myself to get this done. 3 if I'm inclined to go by the rules Z-Man set, but when have I ever? Regardless of how generous that is, each second's just as important as the next. But as with every plan, problems crop up the last second. It's practically a universal rule. And it does, in the form of a lone figure waiting for me next to my car. Isabella turns just as I near, her mouth curving up in a small smile. She offers no greeting, except for a shy tilt of her head. Even as my pace slows and I look at her with all unvoiced questions in my eyes, she remains wordless, merely throwing her head back and shifting her attention up to the starless sky. And when I come up to stand beside her, another gust of wind blows as she breathes out a sigh, weary, thick with something close to resignation. The breeze carries all of it away while she hugs her arms closer to herself to keep warm, which raises the question why she's out here. The air's already heavy with the promise of rain. With clouds obscuring the view, there's really nothing left to look at but a dark blanket of nothingness. Hello, Frying Pan! How is you? And yes, the dog is quite cute, isn't it? Lucky is a wonderful potato. Wait, I can fix this. Yeah! It is! Agreed! 100%! Yes. There we go. How is that cheating? The air is heavy with the promise of rain, with clouds obscuring the view. There's really nothing left to look at but a dark blanket of nothingness. Still, she stands here as if she's intentionally waiting for everything to fall. That, or she's here for some other reason.
Belle, I can't bring you with me.
I know. I won't ask you to.
Go back inside. G will keep an eye on you while I'm gone. You can trust him. And hey, you also have Z-Man with you.
Don't worry. I will. In a while. I just want a bit of fresh air.
Well, don't stay out there too long. It's going to rain soon. It'll probably be even heavier than the downpour we had this morning. You wouldn't want to be caught in it.
I give her shoulder a reassuring squeeze before walking past her and heading to my car. No 2 steps further, though, something pulls the back of my jacket, catching the fabric in a firm grip and halting my movements.
Isabella, I need to go.
She refuses to meet my eyes, but her hold remains tight. There's a worried crease between her eyebrows, and her lips quiver ever so slightly when she speaks. In a small voice, brimming with a different kind of desperation I can't quite place.
Rebecca's gone.
She draws in a breath, soft, slow, lined with enough sorrow that it hitches.
And if that thing takes you, too.
The rest of it falters, but the meaning, the gravity of each of her words rings loudly above the passing breeze hanging over us, lingering in between. A small little thing that spurs me into silence, like the wind has suddenly been knocked out of me in one fell swoop. No words will form, not even a single coherent thought. And so, in place of it, in place of everything untold and we've taken for granted, I draw her in. Gently, quietly, pulling her against me until my arms settle around her shoulders.
Ash?
No. No, 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 I don't chip it, please! For a fleeting second, she freezes, startled, and looks up at me, with hesitation and a silent question in her eyes. Whatever answer she finds in mine, eventually she allows this. No! She folds herself into me, buries her face into my shoulder, and settles her arms into my sides, unsure, uncertain.
It'll be over soon. I'll figure it out. I'll find a way to get us out of this.
This is a homie hug.
But no matter what happens, I want you to promise that you will stay alive until then.
Isabella, why are you blushing?
Because if I lose you to her as well, I have no idea what else would keep me grounded.
Ashton, no! When all has been said and done, I rest my forehead against hers, eyes closed and simply taking in her warmth. Desperation still clings, woven into every breath, every sigh, but at the heart of it is this. Her. No words are said, even as we part. But I let this be the last thing I commit to memory, before slipping inside my car and driving off. I was really scared there was gonna be a kiss scene. I don't want them to be together. I'm sorry. Within 10 minutes, I am driving out of Luxembourg and heading straight for the Assam village. In the distance, flashes of lightning light up the horizon, white and sharp against the black curtain of the night. Thunder threatens with a rumble seconds later, echoing long across the sky. And with one last roar, the skies open in earnest. Oh, November 1st! The rain falls in fast, steady sheets, creating shallow puddles on the dirt path, drenching everything the eyes can reach. Despite having grown up in the city, I still despise the rain. Living here doesn't mean I have to like it. Lucky me, I've reached the mansion before the downpour has turned torrential. The long slog from Assam village by foot has already been made difficult by the light drizzle and biting winds buffeting against my body every few seconds. By the time I found cover under the trees lining the vicinity of the mansion, my shoulders are already drenched. My hair is also sticking against my skin and out in every possible direction. Thankfully, the letter, taser, and gun I brought with me have remained relatively dry. That's the most important thing. However, those are the least of my problems at the moment. Sometime after the housewarming party, Scumbag Wright has suddenly grown a brain and tightened the security around the mansion. A guard is now stationed in every possible point of entry. The main entryway, the back door leading to the kitchens. Hell, it's almost a miracle no one has spotted me since I entered the property, although that's probably because I've kept close to the forest. While I can always create a clever way in for myself under this dulge, it'll be difficult to do so without making much noise or leaving tracks.
I don't really have the luxury either, do I?
Considering how off this place feels since I've stepped into the property and the mansion came into view, every light is off. Even with the security personnel on patrol outside, the whole house itself, it feels empty. Eerie. Too quiet. Do you not ship it because she's a Filipina? I do not ship it because Ash is an asshole! Normally, I'll pass it off as some kind of power outage because of the storm. It's not a far off conclusion when this place is almost in the middle of nowhere. However, something just feels wrong.
Something happened here.
Or about to. It's the sole reason why I haven't done anything yet. Simply observing, watching, listening for anything. I might be pressed for time, but I'm not a careless idiot. Although I need a way in, desperately so, but moving without thinking will not only endanger me. With so many unknown variables and what we're dealing with, I also have to act on the assumption that someone is always in danger, especially in this place. I can't act impecusly. As much as I hate Wright, I'm not about to cause his death because of one thoughtless action. If there's a place he deserves to be at, it's in prison, not a morgue. So when a hoarse, painful sob suddenly rings out above the loud pitter-patter of rain, only then do I stir. A woman. Perhaps a servant? Or worse, Hannah Wright. It's coming from the forest? Just right up ahead, in fact. Not too far from the house. Regardless, I give the place a quick, wary glance before following the noise. Carefully, keeping to the shadows, one cautious step after another. Louder and louder, it goes as I near. Oh man, there's gonna be a quick time event, okay. Until it abruptly turns into a loud, desperate, anguished cry. I break into a run. One nervous hand ready on the gun holstered at my hip, the other raised for balance as I scurry across the dense understory. Dead leaves crunch under my shoes, but I pay it no mind. There's only the voice, the woman, and nothing. Abruptly, it all stops, and I am met with a sudden hush. Blank. Empty. Almost deafening in its stills, even with my labored breathing and pounding heartbeat beats against my ears. Behind me, another branch breaks and...
Help me.
Dread surges within me while I spin around and take a hard step back, ignoring the chilly pinpricks crawling at the back of my neck. But before I can even meet her eyes, the world unexpectedly pitches sideways, tilting, and tilting until the ground beneath me finally crumbles. My hands fight for purchase, only to meet air. By then, it's too late.
Ah!
My foot slips further and the rest of my body follows. Dark spots blur the edges of my vision. Black tendrils twitch and coil around my limbs. Soft footfalls echo from the far distance, scurrying, scampering, moving in an odd rhythm with the sharp, piercing notes of her laughter. But more than that are the voices, lacing venom inside every crevice in my head. Murmurs that jeer, scoff, and deride. Over. It's because you didn't listen. And over. It's all your fault. And over again. Why won't you believe me? A reminder of what I failed to do and who I failed. What I'm trying to desperately fix. A scream threatens to burst, but my throat closes off. Ever so slowly, a chill seeps into every nerve of my body, washing away every sensation in me apart from warmth. There is only fear. Once again, her laughter echoes, a sound both bitter and unforgiving. It is the last thing I hear before she reaches for me. The ground trembles. The world slows to a stop. Half darkness greets me when my eyes finally snap open, the soft patter of dripping water somewhere, spurring my consciousness further. For a few short moments, I remain still, blinking away the dizziness, allowing my vision to adjust to the lack of light and my breathing to even out first before pushing myself up on one arm and attempting to stand. Turning alone is a struggle on its own. An inch of movement sends a stab of sharp pain right up my arms and back, giving me another pause.
Shit. I hope I didn't break anything. Fuck.
There doesn't seem to be any injury or a major fracture, although the whole of my back does feel sore and raw. Probably from when I've skidded down prior to landing myself here. A comforting thought. The second attempt comes easier later, though no less painful. And by the time I'm back on my feet, the exertion has left me gasping in short, shallow breaths and leaning heavily on the wall nearest to me. Behind me, the light draft blows in from where I've fallen in, coming in short, sharp bursts into what's apparently an underground tunnel, and brings in the fresh, earthly smell of rain from the topside. Regardless, it fails to mask the old musky scent of the place, a mixture of mold, mildew, dust, grease, and something distinctly foul. Like death. More worrisome than the putrid, festering smell, however, are the cells that line both sides of the tunnel. Under the dim light, I can barely make out what's inside some of them, but I already have a few ideas, all of which I refuse to delve into at the moment. Knowing how long this mansion has stood, somehow, no matter how unexpected finding the existence of this place is, it isn't too surprising.
I wonder if Scumbag knows about this.
Probably not, unless he's also the kind of person who takes joy in inflicting this kind of suffering on others. I don't really think so. He's rotten to the core, but not that rotten. He'll probably balk at this, move out of the first opportunity, and have it demolished. The very idea of what has occurred in this place years ago makes me real as well. I have known long ago places like this tend to hold secrets. This, though? If this is just the tip of the iceberg, I fear what I may discover in the mansion itself and the tale behind that fucking letter. Please excuse me once again. But fear's inconsequential. As unpleasant as the sight of this is, this place might also be the only way for me to get inside unnoticed. Sighing and taking one last gulp of clean air, I push away from the wall and delve deeper into the passage.
Let's just hope it'll be smooth sailing from here on.
Turns out, that alone is too much to ask for this early. No 20 paces into it, another sound abruptly rises above my footfalls, rebounding off the hollow walls and echoing inaudibly across the whole span of the tunnel, before fading away just as swiftly as it rang. I paused, nevertheless, straining my ears for more of it, while I gradually moved my hand to my side, slow and steady until the tips of my fingers brush off the gun's handle. Will I have a chance to kill Marianne again? Although cold against my skin, it's the closest thing I have to comfort at the moment. For a long minute, I wait, holding my breath, watching every form, edge, and shadow at the corners of my vision for any movement. After a heartbeat and nothing, I allow the tension to ease out of me in the form of a long, low exhale that reverberates around the whole passage.
Who's there?
Perhaps it's because of what has happened earlier and how I've ended up here, or maybe it's because of my training. But in spite of the panic and fear in that voice, I don't immediately answer. Instead, I pull my gun free from its holster and wordlessly draw closer to where the voice rings out once again. Afraid. Frantic. Weak?
I'm asking you a question. Who's there?
It's only after I've released the safety do I answer, while continuing my approach in a careful, steady pace.
I think I should be the one asking you that. Who are you? Show yourself!
I can't. I'm stuck in here.
Well, a ghost will definitely not be saying that, or have a conversation like this, or be stuck anywhere. And as if to prove her point, she extends a hand from one of the cells ahead and waves. Then she pulls back, grips the iron bars, and rattles it lightly.
I can't get out. Can you help?
Oh, Marianne! In 5 quick steps, I'm standing in front of the cell, and sure enough, a woman's inside. Slumped on the floor, holding the bars with shaking hands, clinging to it as if it's the only thing keeping her upright. And not just any woman.
You? McLaughlin?
Close. The same one I met at G's 5 days ago, smashed drunk and blabbering her frustrations about her employers.
Holmes?
No, not McLaughlin. McConnell. Marianne McConnell, famous interior designer extraordinaire. Not so extraordinary now, with how exhausted and feeble she looks, trapped in a jail cell of all things. Her breathing's shallow, and there's a paleness to her complexion. Sunken eyes, cracked lips, dry skin, all signs pointing to starvation and dehydration.
What? How long have you been stuck in here?
3 days? 4? I don't know. I have no idea anymore.
If it was full, sweetheart, you would have died of dehydration.
I just fell in, and that woman... Whatever! Can you get me out of here? Please!
In a moment. But here, go feed yourself first before you fall over.
I fish out an energy bar from my pocket and hand it to her. She's lucky I always have one on my person. For sudden emergencies or extended stakeouts, a little sugar to keep me going. Welcome back, Jabin. No need to apologize. We found Marianne! Like any starving person, she wastes no time making a grab for it, unwrapping it straight away and taking in whole mouthfuls of it. Oh dear. My deepest apologies. I hope that went well. I don't know if we can save her. We can't exactly get her out. Relief washes over her face on the first bite alone, although she's going to need more than that if what she said is true. But for a moment, it's enough to keep her alive. Good thing she seems to have a sense to prioritize survival over comfort, if the puddle on the corner of the cell indicates anything. Without water, the human body can only survive 3 days. No food, and I'll give it an average of 3 weeks. Though even then, it won't be a pretty experience. No, we didn't bring Zach or Isabella. We didn't even have the choice to. Granted, some have survived longer than that. She's still fortunate that I found her when I did. Now, to get her out. My bobby pins won't be any use here. Not like I need it. Unlike the ones we have at the precinct, a simple barrel hinge holds the gates to this cell together. Even without any special tools, I'll be able to lift the door and free her. Wait, this is just... You just gotta lift it? What? However, with how heavy it seems, I'll need a lever of some sort to help.
What are you looking for?
Some wood, a 2x4, I guess, a plank or a pipe, anything I can use as a lever. Wait here.
The hallway yields nothing but dust, dirt, and a few rusted chains scattered about. While I may find something in one of the open cells, I'm reluctant to check or even step in. That is true. We can't have another person trapped in here. However, McConnell ended up inside.
Well, there's no.
My head snaps back to her. It's gonna be like a human bone or something. Oh! It's one of those, handcuffy thingies. McConnell extracts a wooden board from under the mess of hay and twine near her. Without prompting, she slips it through what little space there is between the bars. It's short, but it appears thick and sturdy enough for my intended purpose upon closer inspection.
Good enough.
I hope. I get to work at once, anchoring the other end of the plank at the base of the door and applying ample force on the other end. Yeah. Also, I don't think Marianne would just casually hand those over. It takes a bit of effort. No kidding about the heavy part. Still, a grunt, a gasp, a creak. I'm just very interested because it seems like the ghost is slowly hurting everyone in this area. That's why you drink milk. That way, if someone ever needs your skeleton for something, it'll be useful. Oh, I'm so glad to know that my body will be so useful. That my bones will be useful. What do you mean, a flesh Kermit? That's a fluff Kermit to you. In a matter of minutes, with a little help from her on the other side, the door eventually lifts off its hinges. It falls on the ground with a loud, ugly metallic thud, but the sound of it puts elation on McConnell's face. It ain't easy being a flesh Kermit. Brr. She doesn't even ask for help. As soon as she can, she hastily crawls out of the prison she has accidentally found herself in. It ain't much, but it's honest work. Sup, Mozzie? I hope you're doing well. More than happy to get out of it, despite lacking the strength to stand firmly on her feet.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Glad to hear it, Mozzie.
After the second day, I was so sure I was going to die in there. If you didn't show up...
I did, actually, J-Man. I do believe they can make that noise.
I don't even want to think about it.
She's using words I don't understand! To Google! Trying to art, but art is hard. Making. Ooh! Yeah, I've seen that! Steam actually recommended it to me. Maybe one day I will play it. Maybe. But yeah, I wish you the best of luck with that. Mozzie. Sorry, I ended up pausing because I'm trying to figure out what she's saying. What does this mean? From the breast of God? Oh, for God's sake. Okay. That's fair. I do not own it, J-Ben, so I have never played it. The game is roguelike and the chapters are randomized, so you may like it. Ooh! And thank you, Mozzie, for the water. You don't know my Steam, J-Bent! Mwahaha! Oh, Sandy! Sup? My sound alerts are still messed up, so we got double the newts. Who? Who knows me? Who knows, Javen?
How did you even end up here?
As if Toy would tell you. The other two, I don't know. For a second, she appears hesitant, looking away and fumbling awkwardly with her fingers. But yeah, sup, Sandy? Yo, thank you.
I was looking for something.
Aww. Toy would not tell you out of spite, to be fair. Aw, thank you, Sandy. Here, have hearts and pats. Boop. I hope you're doing well. I saw pieces of your debut as well. Your model looks beautiful. Congrats, my dude.
Someone.
A contemplative expression flickers in her eyes, something that's close to wistful, like when a person remembers a memory she's fond of. He'd laugh at you, bro. It doesn't last too long, but it still leaves me the impression that I've suddenly walked into something private. I am doing things. Wee. Boop. Wee. Yeah! Success! Something deeply personal for her. I'd rather not ask.
So this whole tunnel, at the end of it, it leads right inside the mansion?
The wine cellar.
Right into the kitchen, then.
There's a door of some sorts. I don't know. I think I pulled or pressed something somewhere. I was in a hurry. And I'm not sure if it'll open from this side. Hell, this place wasn't even in the floor plans.
What do you mean?
The ghost chased us down here. We kinda slipped. We're lucky we're not concussed.
Does that really matter now? We have to get out of here. People died in this place. Kids! Oh God! Kids!
Yeah, the ghost can kill the cameraman. So, that's pretty powerful. Yeah, it wanted us to go here.
I could have shown you, but that thing won't turn back on anymore. It's like it only waited for me to see it before shutting down or something. How long has that thing even been in there? But those poor kids. All because of that thing.
Yeah, it's like herding people into this dungeon area.
Wait, hold on. What are you talking about right now?
The bloody letter! Ever since I've read that thing, since that day at the open house, she won't leave me. But it should be fine now, right? I broke it. I broke all of it. She shouldn't be able to do anything now.
Wait, you ripped up the... Oh, the mirror. She's talking about the mirror.
Mikala, one at a time. You're...
It's all that fucking paper's fault! Oh God! Oh God!
Damn. This should be a commercial for the energy bar. She has a lot of energy for someone who's been starved and dehydrated for 4 days.
Dear Lord in St. Adelaide, bless those poor souls. We're not safe here. We need to leave. If we stay here any longer...
Mikalo!
Abruptly, she stops, looks back at me with wild panic-stricken eyes. I've seen enough of it so many times these past few days, from my own friends even. To know she has seen things that'll easily make any person go mad. And perhaps we slowly are. The longer this takes, the faster our descent into it becomes. I can't even tell which one's worse, death or this. Seems like no matter what we end up with, there'll be something horrible waiting for us. I need to hurry.
Listen, I need to get inside this place, and you're more familiar with its layout. If you can help me...
What? No! Why would I go back? Are you sure you haven't gotten raving mad yet? An exit's right here.
And this business with the letter has to end at some point. Look, I know you're not very fond of Luke Wright.
Damn right I'm not.
I'm not right with the rights.
He can just go.
But are you really sure you want to leave him like this?
Yes,
And what about his wife?
that's a different story. It strikes a chord. She falters, grows quiet as the tension lifts from her and her shoulders slump. That man ain't right, but yeah. I do understand her issues with this. In fact, she doesn't have to go with me. Only tell me enough info so I can figure it out on my own. She can always leave afterwards, be done with this whole damn mansion and letter. The other end of this tunnel leads right into the forest. But as we heard before, the ghost does like hanging out in the forest. It'll provide ample cover for her to be able to slip out of the property unnoticed. All the same, she steels herself and scores her shoulders.
Just until the kitchens.
That's more than enough.
She nods, a bit weakly. Then, without another word, she gestures for me to follow, leading me further into the passage. Occasionally she'll stop, find purchase on the wall to catch her breath, but throughout the short walk she asks for neither a break nor assistance. I suppose that's something we have in common. Eventually, we get to a dead end. Although before I can question her, she begins palming for something on the wall. Tracing her fingers along weathered edges of the bricks with a frown on her face.
It should be somewhere here, I think.
What the hell are you doing?
She merely holds up a hand, begging for my silence and continues searching. Then, without warning, a few minutes later, something clicks. A portion of the wall shifts, ajar, to reveal a glimpse of another room. The bottles lining the walls, liquor barrels for the aging. The wine cellar indeed.
The ladder to the kitchen is on the far end of this room.
Surreal. This is all nothing but a surreal nightmare. But after everything, should this even surprise me? Ghosts, curses, hidden passages? I can't even bring myself to question the existence of this door anymore. Houses with like hidden doors and stuff are cool. I wanna ask my contractor like if we can do this. I simply follow her to the undercroft without a single question, in spite of a number of them already swimming inside my head. As a kid, I used to crave for this kind of adventure. The stuff of mystery and detective novels, daring chases, interesting cases to solve, suspects to put behind bars, justice to serve. I was blinded, I admit. Now I simply want this to be over. We leave the door open in case there's a need for a quick exit, especially after she mentions it's only by chance she has been able to open the door last time. We can't waste time finding the switch again on the occasion something goes horribly wrong. There's bound to be, with me feeling this high-strung and tense. I'm not even sure why I thought it'd be a good idea to enlist McConnell's help. Although she has been quite helpful so far, I can't shake off the horrible feeling something's going to happen to her if she stays with me. Even if I'm her safest bet if she wants to get out of this place alive. Oh, is this a hint?
You really believe that, don't you?
Did you say something?
McConnell pauses mid-step, turning to me confused.
I didn't.
You sure? I just heard.
Don't you think I'll be the first person who'll know? Look, the ladder leading to the kitchen's up ahead. You might want to hurry. I just want to be done with this place.
See? You dragged another one.
This time, I'm sure. There's really a voice. Well, voices. Yeah, we're meeting the mirror! Despite the look of protest McConnell shoots me, I find myself stopping and looking for it, searching the immediate surroundings for the familiar form of the woman. I don't even have to venture too far from where I'm standing. show Marianne's previous crush. But it might show Rebecca, I don't know. Just an arm's length away from me, mirror shards litter the floor. And on the right, and right on the biggest fragments. Oh, it's a mix! Okay. So there's Zach, Isabella, the woman, and Rebecca. It's everyone! The whole gang's here! They speak. They all singing the same mocking tune against my ears, letting it echo throughout the small undercroft. Murmurs and laughter, jeering, scoffing, deriding, lacing venom into every crevasse in my head. I don't know. Taunting me. Maybe?
You dragged another person into this, Ashton.
Into another one of your silly little problems.
All because you can't fix them on your own.
No, I don't think it implies they're dead because it also used Kylie. Kylie's voice. The kid. And the kid never died. Luke would have had a fit if the kid died.
You really haven't changed, have you? Some hero you are.
Useless.
Pathetic.
You're wrong.
My mistakes lies in the first instance I've answered. The very second denial has slipped from my mouth, their words have also seeped into my heart, allowing it to proud and arouse my temper. Right? Despite knowing they are merely doing this to goad me, each word, each syllable trickle into me, spurring the guilt I hope I've long buried.
Are we? Or is that simply what you've been telling yourself all this time? Something to make yourself feel better, perhaps? What about Becca? Oh, the way she fell to her death, while all you did was watch. Someone's dead because of you.
That was my fault. I'm sorry.
You're the one who took that letter off Isabella's hand that day. You're the one who opened it.
How does it feel, I wonder? To know you're responsible for all of this?
What do you think I'm doing? Why do you think I'm still trying to fix this?
Oh, but you can't. It's already too late. And you know that. You know all of this is futile.
Just face it, Ashton Frey. You're a failure, and they are the ones who have to pay for it.
A badge and a gun, and you still can't protect your own friends. Can't even solve a case for an old man.
Can't even bring Luke right to justice.
Can't even keep his own family together.
Yeah, he has a gun and a taser.
No wonder they left you. Before you do the same thing to them.
Mom and Dad are better off without little old you, aren't they? It's a good thing they had the sense.
Shoot the mirror fragments?
Pitiful, isn't it? Some detective you are. Some friend you are. Some son you are. You might as well just throw that rank away. You're no use to people either way.
Shut it!
I'm sorry, Jabin. I don't think Ashton enjoys your, suggestion. I hate this. I hate how this monster can easily get through to me. Every weakness, every insecurity it knows. To hear it said in my friend's voice, even more so. But what I hate above all of it is...
You know it's true, though.
All of it. It's why all you can do is tell us to shut up. You don't want to hear a single word, because you're already aware of it.
Ash is a self-aware asshole. I respect that.
You can't even admit it to yourself. Who's the coward now?
But no matter how hard you try, you're not gonna be able to say it anymore.
Shut it! Not a single word anymore.
It laughs, sharp and piercing. At its sound, something in me snaps. A rage hastily unfurling red filling my vision, and the next thing I know, I'm raising my hand, and something grabs my wrists, followed by a buzz, as another voice breaks through the haze.
Don't listen to it!
The fog from my mind lifts. Every sound, every noise returns to me, flooding my every senses. All at once, there is this deafening silence. Slowly, I become aware of my surroundings. Yeah, we were gonna punch some glass. Bottles of wine, barrels of liquor, the faint old scent of death and decay somewhere, and a hand holding on to my wrists, as if to keep me from hurting myself. In my hands, a shard. Blood drips from where it has cut my palm, trailing down my wrist until it disappears behind my sleeve. Not too deep, negligible even. There is pain, however, a different kind. An ache, somewhere else that stems not from the wound, but from every single word that has hit. We were gonna stab broken glass, okay? When I glance at McConnell, she merely stares at me with wide, horrified eyes.
Don't listen to it! No matter what happens, don't do what it says! It's how it gets us.
My grip on the shard falters, but only after I nod and drop it entirely does she release her grip. Afterward, she simply steps back and looks away, hugging her arms closer to herself. She breathes a sigh, heavy. Perhaps weighted with her own guilt. What this monster might have used against her.
Come on, we're getting close.
She walks off without another comment, but there's worry in her as she gives the fragments one last glimpse. On the ground, they lie lifeless now. No more voices, no more insults. But even as I walk away, one whispered taunt continues to ring in my ears.
It's useless, Ashton Frey. You are going to die. And you are going to die alone.
Man, that hits harder when Zach's saying it, because he's a good bean. I can't hear him saying that. A fear. One that has been long kept in the darkest place in my heart. One that a small part of me wishes for. Yeah, it's somewhat settling to hear Zach like that. Whoever voiced him did really well. I wonder if he ever got any other parts. I hope he's doing well. The trapdoor swings open without much fuss. It isn't even locked, probably left open for when the Wrights ask for some midnight snack. I make sure the coast is clear, of course, before I pull myself and help McConnell up. The butler of theirs is nowhere to be seen. He's probably sleeping, attending to his master, or doing some extra late-night work before turning in for the night. Meanwhile, the Wright won't touch anything to do with menial chores, not even with a 10-foot pole. It's next to impossible for him to linger here. No servants, no anyone. Just as easy as that, we're in. Gently, I close the hatch. If things go well, the same path will be our way out. If our luck doesn't hold, that's not an option now, is it? I have people waiting for me. I really don't want to think what might happen. Sometimes it's best if we simply revel in the little victories. There are great blessings when everything else is going against you. And in a place like this, fraught with unknown dangers, hits a feeling that lasts only a second. Suddenly, a sob. Ringing out from some distant part of the house, echoing through its empty halls. Beside me, slumped on the ground, pale and breathing heavily, McConnell immediately tenses. Her eyes go wide, and she grips the side of the counter with a force that might be enough to crack it if only she has the strength. As it is, she can barely stand. She hasn't fully recovered. make sense of the 3 or more days without proper water or food. It does sound a little bit different now that you mention it, J-Ben. And it's the weakness that puts the fear in her eyes. She's aware. If something happens, if there's a need to run, she won't be able to. She's a liability at this point.
Holmes, I really don't think going any further is a good idea. Look at this place. Everything seems fine. Nothing's off. Maybe we should just go? I really don't like the sound of that.
I think it's because it's one of those windows that don't open and they don't want to do some property damage.
You really don't have to come with me. Just until the kitchen, yeah? We're already here. You've done your part. From here on, I'm going on my own.
Yes, I said that, but
Can you even stand?
She doesn't answer.
You'll only be putting yourself in more danger if you follow after me. You have an easy way out of here. Stay here. Once you're okay, I need you to get yourself out of this place.
what? I'm not going to leave you.
Well, I'm not taking you with me either, lady. So it's here or out there.
You really are mad, aren't you?
Probably all will be, if no one fixes this little curse problem we have.
You think you'll find something in here? This is just a mansion, for God's sake.
Well, you didn't know that that jail was there, so...
Maybe it's worth a shot. Besides, if what we're hearing right now says anything, I'd say scumbags.
Who?
Right. He might be knee-deep in trouble and he has no idea about it.
McConnell still appears as if she's about to argue. So instead of more words, I unholster my taser and hand it to her. A standard issue for every member of Luxembourg police force, but it doesn't take a genius to know how to aim and fire one. Even Isabella may just be able to use it without training. Yet Miss Interior Designer Extraordinaire stares at it as if I've just handed her something particularly nasty.
Listen, you want to wait? Fine. I'm leaving this with you.
Fair enough.
But if I don't come back here within 15 minutes, I want you to backtrack and get the hell out of here.
Are you daft, Holmes? I already told you.
Maybe take some snackies. I wouldn't be surprised if you're considered a missing person at this point, McConnell.
In case something goes wrong, I need someone who can tell people what's going on. Who can tell my friends what might have happened here. They're at the crawl. You know the place, right?
I trail off, letting the meaning of my words hang in the air. I want to be optimistic about this, really. However, I'm going against something almost everyone can't quite understand. I'm just being realistic with my chances. McConnell seems to understand this as well, after what I've said. Any sign of protest has already died from her tongue, and she simply looks at the taser quietly. After a moment, she just nods. Beyond the walls of this room, the cry continues to grow louder, and I take it as a sign to leave. Without another word, I slip out of the door. Like a siren call, her voice beckons. Yeah, I think the taser would have worked better on the ghost than a gun. Because electromagnetic fields and stuff. Finding out who that it seems a good place. Finding out who that is seems like a good place to start as any. I keep to the shadows for the most part. Not that there's any need to. The entire place just feels empty. Yeah, that's true. Odd when a house this big should have a large staff. You'd think there'd be one or two roaming about for some late night chores or someone seeking out whatever's creating this ruckus. There's none, however.
Shouldn't they have security posted inside as well?
Unless their security means the butler, though I doubt Scumbag's that sloppy. He loves his life more than anything. Probably more than his own wife. And the things he's done, he's bound to make more than an enemy or two. He's also the kind who will do anything to keep himself safe. alive.
I wonder what he'll say when he finds out that there's something not human living with him in his own house.
Potential dangers aside, being on my own grants me a greater degree of mobility, which I'm more comfortable with. Sure, I could have enlisted McConnell's help. Next to the people who owns this, she's probably the one who is most familiar with the mansion. But the cons of bringing her outweighs the pros. She's better off somewhere a quick exits in sight. With no tag along, I only have to worry about myself. Watch my back. Selfish, I know.
But necessary.
In the same manner, this whole plan is, no matter how idiotic going into this is. Besides, I don't really need a guide when the house's layout is fairly simple, almost mirrored with only a few modifications in the rooms. Although I have only been here once, I think I already have a good grasp of this place, ins and outs. As long as you can tell which is east and west, it shouldn't be hard to find my way around. After the dining room, the main foyer should be the next thing that greets me, where the woman's cries are leading me. Honestly, after what happened outside, I'm not even sure if I should be trusting what I'm hearing. But with the whole house somehow seemingly devoid of any of its inhabitants, I'm inclined to look into this. More than surviving this curse, a huge part of this is my training speaking.
I just hope this isn't a crime scene I'm walking into.
But nothing's ever that simple, isn't it? Not when you're dealing with a supernatural. Nope. Because as soon as my feet crosses to the next room, quick time event, something shifts. Oh! Okay. In a flash, nearly without fanfare, it happens in the blink of an eye. I almost miss it. One moment, there's red. In the next, I'm standing alone in the foyer. For a brief instant, I pause, glancing wildly around the place, blinking twice as if my movements will spur the vision back. Yet, nothing. No blood dripping on the walls, none trailing down the stairs or pooled on the floor, no eyes watching my every movement. Only the same cries gradually growing in intensity the longer I dally, along with a voice. Mama! Desperate.
Where are you, Mother?
Pleading.
Mother, please. I don't want to be alone.
Coming from the same direction I've heard the cries from. Yeah, it sounds like Hannah! Upstairs. The place is not entirely empty then. A better question now is who? Definitely not Scumbag or the butler. I have yet to see hide nor hair of them, and not knowing their whereabouts puts me on edge. I have to be careful not to make any noise or be seen. It's either sleepwalking or she's like having a night terror and she's talking in her sleep. Maybe the wife? Though one can't really tell if it's her, the way the walls echo her voice. Nevertheless, it pushes me to move. Taking almost 2 steps at a time, despite the sickening feeling that something's lurking behind every great shadow, every small corner I pass. As if the house has several eyes watching my every movement. As if something alive dwells behind the walls itself. Quick time event? No? Okay. I try to shake it off. Dude, that last quick time event really did something to me, man. I don't want to run into another one. I try to shake it off, but the uneasy sensation has already made home at the pit of my stomach. Dread, and it only grows deeper the closer I get to her. The elevator one. The elevator one, my dude. The relative emptiness of the place doesn't help either. Neither does the harsh wind battering the windows, nor the sheets of rain pelting down on the roof. Why are the windows open? For a fleeting second, I find myself wishing for Scumbag to simply show up. I don't get too far down into that train of thought. Abruptly, the cries stop, replacing it with,
Mother, please. She's here. She's here, Mother. She's going to take me.
okay, I don't think it's Hannah.
She won't leave, Mother. Mother, I don't want to go with her. Tell her to go away. Mother! Mother, she's here! Help!
That can't be good. Adrenaline overcomes me in a rush. In no 2 heartbeats, my feet's already moving, before any sense can catch up or doubt creeps up on to me. My hands ready at the holster as I hastily set off for the far side of the hall. One alarmed footstep after another, while struggling to keep that sense of panic at bay. A door lies ajar at the end, and coming from the floor above,
She's going to hurt me! Help me!
I do not hesitate. Moving in despite the lack of light, the steep stairs, or the thick layer of dust kicking up with my every step. I pause only a moment upon reaching the top. Okay, so we're going to the attic. Oh wait, no we're not. Okay. And without wasting a second, I push the door open. She sits in the middle of the room, shoulders hunched, shaking. Her hands cover her face as she weeps, oblivious to my presence. It's as if she has heard neither my footsteps nor the soft creaking of the door. Continuing undisturbed, like I'm standing in a time far removed from her. She doesn't even flinch when I call out for her.
Hey, are you alright?
Mother, I've done it, Mother. Take me with you, please. I can still hear her. She's here.
Wait, was the ghost even messing with the people who originally owned this house?
Help me! Help me, please!
And she went crazy? Belatedly, I noticed the blood on her hands. If it's the same one drenching the whole attic, I'd rather not know. How the whole room has ended up like this is the least of my problems at the moment. Even the single human body doesn't have this much blood. Yeah, that's why I'm so confused on how the foyer can be covered in so much blood. So, bodies? The thought sends an unpleasant twinge in my stomach. Does Wright even know about this? He's bad news, alright, but this? This is beneath him. He'll definitely balk at the first sight of it. Anyone will. Yet the woman lingers here, unmoved by the sight, letting her sobs fill the room. From my understanding, it's just her right now, Jaina. Repeating the words over and over again like a prayer of salvation. To whom? The mess of parchment she has left on the floor? Just what the hell is happening? Yeah, but there was a lot of blood in the foyer, and there wasn't any bodies.
Hey, lady, are you?
The rest of that question never makes it out. I don't even see it coming. Should have been more aware and on guard, really. Quick time event? But there's little I can do when a well-placed blow to the back of my knees makes me stumble. The momentum alone sends me reeling forward. It barely even registers in my head that the woman's gone and the room's as normal as it can be. Not above the pain suddenly shooting up my side when I hit the floor. I don't even get the chance to get my bearings back when a hard enough blow to the stomach causes me to buckle down and lay heavy on my knees. Gasping, I fumble wildly for my gun. But why would Johans be in the attic? Although before I am able to turn it, level it, and shoot, a hand grabs my wrist and twists it. Hard. A gasp. A grunt. A cry of pain slips past my mouth. The gun falls to the floor with a thunk. As soon as it lands, a foot kicks it out of my reach, and it slides uselessly under the bed. Okay, it has to be human. So I think your guess of Johan's might be correct. Agony suddenly explodes in my chin, jerking loose. A sharp cry of pain and stars fill the edges of my vision. A brief moment of regret hits me for leaving my taser with McConnell, when a piece of cloth closes around my neck. Without warning, my attacker pulls tight. I'm left gasping, choking, and clawing for air, blindly reaching behind me as I still try to fight him off and loosen the pressure on my neck. Except any sort of movement only causes him to pull it taut.
My, so many rats scurrying about in this mansion lately.
Okay, it is Johan's. Writes Butler. Shit.
Tell me, what did you do with the madam?
I have no idea what he's talking about. Did something happen to Hannah Wright?
Let go, you asshole.
Now, Dummkopf, you're in no position to be rude. Last time I checked, I'm not the one breaking into other people's homes.
Yo, Eugene! What up? Thanks for the bits, my dude.
Now answer my question. What did you do with the madam?
Long time no see. The pain rings and resonates through my already sore body. Still, I managed to write it out and split mutinous.
You. Keep that dirty mouth babbling and you're getting a knife in the kidney.
But you can sell those Johans!
I assure you, it will be more painful than this.
He doesn't really need to threaten me by now. It's all too much to bear at this point. My lungs feel like they're burning with the lack of air. Dark spots begin to fill the edge of my vision. Ever so slowly, the world around me dims. My consciousness rapidly slips away from me. And without meaning to...
Get away from him!
Isabella! Hearing that voice, it's as if I've been doused with a bucket full of ice. Cold water, familiar. Too familiar. And more importantly, it shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be hearing it here. She shouldn't be here. Immediately, my eyes snap open. You have a taser? And a rolling pin? Did you meet Marianne? What? And right there, right on the attic's doorway, stands Isabella of all people. A rolling pin in one hand and a standard issue police taser on the other. My taser. Bruh, I don't even have context. Sweetheart, why are you here? You don't even have a car! You can't drive! She must have borrowed it from McConnell. Where else could she have gotten one? I doubt she has ever used one even. Hell, the way she holds it right now, this guy can easily disarm her in one hit. But there's something in her eyes. Although there's a look of fear in them and her hand shakes, she keeps the weapon trained and pointed at Scumbag's lackey. Untrained or not, she does not plan to leave here without putting up a fight, it seems. Admirable, really, but it's just not something we need right now. I need her to be away from here. I need her safe. But the chances of that happening grow slim with every laughter that escapes from him.
Oh, this is just getting better and better. The Bratwurst won't be pleased with the number of bodies we have to dispose of today, you know.
Wait, you telling me Luke has been killing people?
Tell me, how many of you are there? So I can prepare the proper number of bags.
Bags? Damn it! What the fuck is going on? Why is she here in the first place? Did she follow after me? I assume that. I know they're rich, but I don't think that they'd provide a coffin for everyone. Who else came with her? Zach? Panic surges within me. She knows how bad the situation is, but did she really have to run in here and expose herself like that? Yo! Isn't it suspicious if you buy body bags? Can you just buy those? Does she even know how to use a taser? Bro, you were just saying that tasers were so easy to use, even she can use it. For fuck's sake, more than worrying for my life, it's her I'm concerned about. Getting strangled, dying by choking isn't part of the plan, but her following me here isn't either. Why can you buy body bags? This is why I prefer to do things alone. This is why I'd rather be the only one to take the consequences. I don't even want to think what this bastard might do to her after he's done with me. Though my voice comes out nearly a croak, I try to tell her as much. She has to leave. Stay far away from here. And these people.
Don't! Damn it, Isabella! Get out of here!
Another bout of pain erupts in my side. Cutting off my words, a cry of agony bursts from my mouth. I can taste blood in my tongue as I heave, attempting to get in as much air despite the towel still coiled around my neck.
Ash?
You're going to lose air quickly that way, Dummkopf. Better keep it shut.
Get out! 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 Val!
Don't be stupid! I'm not leaving you here!
Wait, Isabella, you telling me that you just bursted in here without knowing who you're helping at first? Especially with how you just questioned that it was Ash. He laughs, too cruel, too unforgiving. The way each note beats against my ears, in spite of the warmth in them, sends chills down my spine. This is the man whose hands who have already been stained with blood before. He won't hesitate.
I'd follow his advice if I were you, little girl. What could you possibly do with a toy?
Dude, have you been trained to take taser shots?
Just hand it over and be on your way. It'll probably be too difficult for a little girl like you to use.
There's a moment of silence. Fuck, I can barely keep my eyes open. But in the next second, though, I still don't exactly understand what's happening. Isabella shouts. Not a cry of pain. Not a yell of panic. But one that's resolute. Firm. Perhaps in a tone that's leagues fiercer than any I've heard from her before.
Try me! Ashton, duck!
I do. More out of instinct and desire to survive, closing my eyes before my mind can fully process what's going on. It all happens in a blur. Can you imagine if she shoots Ashton? The telltale sound of a taser being discharged resounds through the room. The air crackles. That would be a big oops, Mozzie. Something whizzes by, almost too close to my ear, followed by the thud of something blunt, connecting solidly with another object. Yo, my bad, G. The next thing I know, the towel strangling me has started to loosen. I collapse on the floor, dazed and gasping for air. Wait, isn't the human's natural reaction to things is to tighten? So instead of loosening, shouldn't Johans just tighten around his neck and it would have killed Ashton? Oh, she brained him too, just to be safe. Can you get tasered in the head? I wonder how that feels. I collapse on the floor, dazed and gasping for air. From my peripheral, though, the haze of blood rushing and the sound slowly filtering back, the butler buckles. The butler buckles. He spasms once, then without much fuss, falls face first beside me, knocked unconscious by 50,000 volts of electricity and a fucking rolling pin. Damn, she didn't just tase him, she smacked him! He's been concussed! He'll be out for a while. I have no idea whether I should laugh or cry at that. I thought you were talking about Ash and how the taser, like, tickled his ear a bit, Mozzie. Dang! She did a double tap! Respect! Somewhere in front of me, my oxygen-deprived brain vaguely registers Isabella's form. She slumps on the floor, also breathing heavily. Right next to her trembling hands, both the taser and the rolling pin lie useless and forgotten, while the mood in the room eases. There's an unconscious man on the floor! What do you mean it eases? Yeah, I wouldn't leave it in the room. A long gradual process of the tension lifting. For countless seconds we remain quiet, with only short gasps and sighs to fill the silence, allowing the adrenaline ebb away and both our breathing to slow. But I like Johannes. Not a true repose by any means, but simply a brief respite. There's still the curse. We're still inside the mansion, in imminent danger. We still have no idea how to fix this. Outside, the rain only seems to intensify. Lightning flashes fleetingly somewhere, white and piercing, and the sky rumbles. No rest for the wicked. I stir first, once recovered, having regained some semblance of sense and strength. Breathing still hurts, but it's bearable, as is moving, although every small motion causes a wince. There will be bruising tomorrow. I can manage. Retrieving my gun from under the bed is easy, but only with some effort. I am able to drag an unconscious man to the far end of the room, snapping one end of a handcuff on his wrist, while fastening the other on the bed frame. Can you imagine if the ghost was just waiting under the bed, guarding the gun? Like an angry dog? Or a rabid raccoon? That should keep him restrained for a few hours, in case he wakes up prematurely. All through this, Isabella stays quiet. In fact, she hasn't moved since. Ghost gets Glock. Can you imagine the ghost going after the handcuffed butler who cannot leave the room? Oh my god, that is so mean. Mozzie, I love it. I love it. I love that idea. Her hands still shake and taking in long draws of breath while she stares vacantly in front of her, almost as if she's in shock. Perhaps she isn't even expecting any result, spurred only by some kind of desperation. Now it's sinking in. Unfortunately, we need to get moving. We don't have time to wait for everything to register in our heads. A girl can dream? True! Kneeling in front of her, I give her a light shake.
Belle, we need to go. You can't stay here.
Slowly, she turns, staring at me with wide eyes. Worry flickers briefly in them, along with something inevitable. Then, without warning, she lifts a hand and slaps me. Yeah! And slaps me right across the face. Woo! The sound of it cracks the air, shattering the silence like a fragile glass breaking. Despite the familiar rumble of thunder outside, it manages to ring louder above the storm. I don't even know what hit me. It's Chanelas. She brought her slippers, the ultimate Filipina weapon. I don't even know what hit me until my head is already snapped back and my cheek stings with anger. Yeah, it's really nice art, isn't it? And it is anger. In spite of the stillness and the lack of words afterwards, not fuming though, never fuming, but the kind that burns lightly and soundlessly. A frustration instead of a seething rage. One that ebbs just as quickly as it flows, and once the tide subsides, there is only that gleam in her eyes, warm, steadfast, and unflinching. Quietly, I brace myself for the truth underneath that gaze. It slips over her lips softly, nearly fading under the sound of the rain falling fast, if not for the weight in each of her words.
What is wrong with you?
Belle,
If Zach didn't slip up, no one would have known where you went.
Hey, good job, Zach.
Belle, one person knowing is enough. Any more than that, and
You almost died. He could have suffocated you right then and there, and you could have died.
I told Zach to give me 4 hours. That would have been enough time to.
It would have been too late. And by the time anyone ever finds out, you're already fertilizer.
She trails off, she trails off, drags one in drawn breath after another. A brief lull as her frustration finally gives, dissolves into something more pensive and somber. Agreed. Zach is the best character, by far. Also, how close do you think is the nearest pig farm to this mansion is? I feel like that's the only way they can get rid of bodies this cleanly. Her shoulders droop, and through her voice rises hoarse and weary. In her next words, there's only certainty. Give me 4 hours, dies within minutes. Can you imagine? Get your killed by the bad guy speedrun. Hey yo, Ashton never said how he was going back, to be fair.
You count too, you know? When I said that night, when I told you that I don't want to lose anyone anymore, that includes you. Alive. We're still here, Ash. You have us.
And once their meaning fall, roar, it does so not with the force of a dam breaking or a raging storm, but with the gentle steady warmth of a hearth burning, an ember easing slowly, lightly, rising and giving, until all that's left is a truth, an understanding. Not alone. Never alone. Yeah, you have friends. It lingers, even as we both drift back into silence, and our words take root, because in the gratitude that swells after is another warmth blooming. Pleasant, welcoming, like finding a home, like finding ourselves in the haze of squall, has left, creating something fragile yet immutable in both of us. It's in her eyes and the way she holds my gaze, unwavering. When did the candle turn on? Wait, what? Was that candle always on? It's in her eyes and the way she holds my gaze, unwavering, in the way she carries herself, despite sitting amongst a place she fears. In the way she keeps herself from trembling and falling apart, because fear is inconsequential when people she cares about are at risk. A change. She realizes that now, holds on to it. Another little thing, another small thing from her, that may go unnoticed and pass by quietly, but will eventually amount to a lot of things. Tiny gestures that mean nothing at first, but begin to matter to me one day until... Oh. Despite myself, a small smile slips from my lips as the same warmth from earlier unfurls in my chest. Unhurried, familiar, and bright from all the years I've carried it, but I've never given the words for it.
Stop smiling like that, Ashton! I'm not done scolding you!
But this time they come easy.
I heard all of it. Don't worry.
Are you really okay? That guy hit you a little too hard on the head. Here, let me...
I reach up just as she extends a hand towards my face, catching her wrist in a light grip, drawing it closer and folding her hand in between mine. Although her expression does shift to mild confusion, she does not pull away like I am expecting. She simply stares at me, searching. For her to allow a gesture from me that's perhaps too close It tells how far things have already shifted in the past few years. Cradled in mine, her hand still trembles. Most of the tremors has already subsided by now, though I doubt it'll fade away this soon. Even as I trace the lines of her palm, in what I hope is a comforting gesture.
I'm sorry, Belle.
For what?
Almost dying?
Is this about what happened tonight? You can apologize later when...
No, well, this too, but it's not just about this.
Bro, why are you blushing at a time like this?
It's for...
Damn, that audio quality changed. I'd be weirded out, man. I didn't want to say anything.
It's for a lot of things. For calling you clumsy, and careless, and a scatterbrain.
Hey, you never called her that. Where did that come from?
Are you sure this isn't a concussion?
He sounds concussed.
You would think that, wouldn't you?
He sounds concussed. Marin, hello! Ashton and Isabella are having a moment, and I absolutely don't want them to get together! Hit him again to make sure. Tase him! Tase him! Make sure he's in his right mind.
Well, you don't usually apologize.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry about that too.
No, it's the attic. Don't worry. There's also an unconscious body in this room we're in. They can't do anything.
For all the times I've teased you and made you cry.
You've teased her so much you've made her cry? And you think you have a chance with her? Bruh? J-Ben, Isabella has the taser. Tase him! Unexpectedly, her fingers tighten around mine, our hands falling between us, as something tender shifts in the air. No! Another exhale. But Rebecca! Another drawn breath eases out of me, filled with every hesitation and uncertainties. But when I finally choose to break the silence... Yeah, Isabella needs better taste! I know it! I know Rebecca's dead. They're gonna make us kill one of them to stop this. It's only when I know, well, that what will slip past my mouth is one truth I will hold against the world. And whose fault is that? I'm sorry! I'm sorry, Shade.
But for all those callous words.
Dude, why are you whispering? I don't want to hear you whisper in my ears.
Despite all those, there's nothing that I don't love about you.
Dude, why is Ashton's mic quality keeps changing?
In fact, those things, I love those.
I'm rolling up a newsmaker as we speak. Dude, there's a rolling pin on the floor. We can bonk him with that.
And everything.
This is not the appropriate time to be confessing.
Everything that's you.
For a long moment, she offers no response. Her grip on my hands merely tightens. No, girl! Don't tighten that grip! Don't tighten that grip! Unless you're gonna throw him. Are you gonna throw him? Please tell me you're gonna throw him. There's a window. Although my heart's pounding hard against my ears, I take a chance and look up. Maybe wrong time to confess is a death flag. Yeah, exactly. Slightly leaning away and giving her a cautious glance, more than ready to hear her rejection. Reject him. And it is one, despite the smile on her face. If it can even be called one, of course. There's a pain aspect to it I can hardly name. Regardless of what it means to her, or what she intends to convey with it, the sight of it alone makes me regret ever mentioning anything. It's almost as if she's forcing herself to push out the next words out of her mouth for the sake of not hurting me. She's cringing for real! She's gonna die of cringe before the ghost gets her. Damn. Not that I won't be able to take it, but if these feelings will only put a heavier burden on her, I'd rather not have said anything at all. Can you imagine? She says, I like Zach. As expected, with one last squeeze, at the hand cradling hers, she pulls her hand away from mine. When she speaks, though, there's a stark refusal to meet my eyes. Not that I hold it against her. The situation's already awkward as it is. The ghost is keeping him alive to torment him with the rejection. Let's go.
Ash.
She pauses, biting her lower lip. A small frown forms between her eyebrows while she struggles to find the right phrases to string together.
Ashton, I'm really sorry.
Can you imagine?
Oh, no, it's cool.
Hit him with the rolling pin.
I was already expecting that. Kind of. But you don't have to.
No, I mean, I can't.
Wait, are you dating someone?
I can't afford to think of anything other than helping my family. Especially now that Papa's gone.
Oh, okay. That's respectable.
They're going to need me more than ever, Ash. I'm sorry. I really can't. Not right now.
I've always known it would lead to this, to some extent. Her family will always come first. Who am I to take that from her? But you can become her family. Yeah, her papa died and he's just confessing to her. Fun fact, Ash actually almost confessed right after she talked about, like, memories of her papa. It hurts, of course, but the pain eases knowing that in spite of circumstances, her heart will always be in the right place. True. But not roommate. They were apartment. They just lived in the same apartment building. That she's still the same woman I've fallen in love with. But her best friend just happened to also be Ash's childhood friend. That she's still the same woman I've fallen in love with.
It's alright, Belle. Don't apologize.
Can you imagine Johannes can hear all of this? And he's just listing off all the things Ashton has done wrong with this confession.
If it still matters, that's actually what I love about you.
Yeah, Johannes just laughs in the background.
Of course, not that I'm expecting anything by telling you that, but you get the point. Yeah.
Johannes, the straights are at it again. My husband would never fumble up a confession this badly.
Thanks, Ash.
True.
I mean, thank you for loving me. Even after everything.
Like a homie, right? That's what I'd say. This is a platonic love, right? Amateurs. Her response is a smile and a soft laughter. Perhaps the sweetest I've seen and heard from her. Just from it, I know nothing will change despite her answer and any lingering feelings that will come from this. And there will be. Yeah, that does hurt. Lingering feelings, that is. But the way she barged into our lives 5 years ago, it'll probably be enough to leave a terrible impression on anyone. But that's also precisely it. It's people like her you don't easily forget. It's them that gradually worms their way into a person's life, until the very thought of losing them becomes unbearable. As it is, I'm already content, simply staying by her. No grand expectations or hopes attached, just the banter and small smiles, and the quiet little moments that roar. I love her, but that also isn't all there is to us. There's also a man lying unconscious on the floor a few feet away from us right now.
I know I caused you all kinds of trouble these past few years.
Hey, whoever told you I'm doing this for free? After we're done with this curse thing, you're gonna owe me a year's supply of ice cream.
Yeah, we'll see.
Another laughter, this time from the both of us. Then she hits my arm with a light punch. Familiar, warm, bright and hopeful, much like everything about her. And it is the strength enough to keep me going as I lead us both out. Howard still hasn't come back, and we make our way downstairs. Tricky, considering the stairs to the attic are a bit odd. One misstep and anyone might end up slipping and falling. You're lucky if that's all that'll happen to you. With the stairs this steep, a broken neck is a likely outcome. Is that foreshadowing? Thankfully, Isabella is here to guide me through the darkness. She knows this place better than anyone. After all, in spite of all the misfortunes it has brought us. Yeah, we left Johann's in the creepy blood attic, even though it's not filled with blood anymore.
Careful, the floorboards over there aren't very sturdy.
Right on cue, the same board I'm stepping on creaks and suddenly breaks. The piece is falling somewhere with a dull thunk.
Oh, shit. Scumbag wouldn't be too happy about that. Ow, foot.
Are you not wearing proper shoes?
See? I told you so. You never listen to me.
They renovated the whole mansion. They can't even replace one tiny part of the house.
Why don't you file a complaint to BRC then? I'm sure they'd be thrilled to hear it. You know it was such a rushed job.
Outside, the winds have intensified. Even from here, I can hear the gusts battering the window in the attic. It makes you wonder why up until now, the only person we've encountered from this house is the butler. Although to some degree that makes sense. He is in charge of running the place. Where are the other servants, though? In this storm, wouldn't anyone want to stay inside? A likely assumption is they're all asleep. The route I've taken doesn't really pass by the rooms they've likely assigned as servants' quarters. However, they have also tightened security. I brushed it off earlier, thinking they'd be posted a lot closer to where the master's rooms are, but the second floor is devoid of anyone as well. As if every inhabitant of this place has suddenly disappeared overnight. More importantly, where's that scumbag? I like how scumbag is capitalized as if that's his name. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. The fact that we're right here in the fucking middle of it makes it all the more queasy. Ooh, I hope it's Yummy Marin. And that feeling only escalates once we reach the landing and Isabella swings the door open. It is his name! She pauses abruptly right in the doorway that I almost run into her. A look of confusion in her as she looks wildly around the place, wordlessly taking in her surroundings. With each turn and shift of her eyes, her shoulders grow only tenser, and a look of apprehension slowly dawns on her.
Isabella, what are you...
We aren't supposed to be here.
No shit, Sherlock. It just occurred to you? Sure enough, when we look up, we're standing straight in the kitchen. Pots, pans, and all. Oh! Oh, I just realized what she meant. Oh. Wait, they teleported? What? Zach! Oh, he looks so cute. In one corner, Zach watches, almost as surprised to see us. McConnell is also with him. Of course she doesn't listen to me if I've already exceeded the 15 minutes we've agreed on. It doesn't look like we can leave Jabin with what just happened. Although color and strength seems to have already returned to her, enough for her to be able to stand unassisted. The empty plate on the counter appears to have played a part on that. Good news, I guess. As for the other one, however... Yeah, but it's also shown that the ghost can teleport us. So if we run into the forest, highest chance we might find ourselves just back into the mansion again. Or the ghost will just do like, oh, you can't break the windows. Relieved as I am that he has had the sense to wait and not venture deeper into the mansion, I can't help but roll my eyes at him.
Zach, I said 4 hours.
I know, but Isabella asked and... Come on, bro. You know I ain't a very good liar.
He is a puppy.
And it didn't even occur to you to stop her?
I tried, all right? Even G. She was out the door before I could say anything.
And how did you guys even get in here?
Both of them exchange a look. One that I absolutely don't like. In the end, it's Isabella who speaks up, a bit with a bit of hesitation.
We heard someone scream, Ash. It led us here.
Without warning, the door behind us slams shut.
We need to get out of here.
Screw right. I need to get these people out of here. Luckily, we're in the kitchen and we have two ways out. The back door and the cellar offers. Except the hatch won't budge when I pull it, and neither does the back door, as if something has locked it firmly on the other side. Zach also gives it a few tries, but even with the big guy's strength, it won't open. There's a long bout of silence in which we all simply look at each other, likely sharing the same thoughts. We're trapped. Something or someone has intentionally led us here. Fuck. At that same moment, one realization dawns in. Something shifts again. Blood. It doesn't really show in the kitchen, to be honest. In every nook and cranny, over every surface, and in every inch of the floor. This time, unlike the first one I've seen, it remains, and gradually, the whole room began to reek of that familiar metallic scent. Sharp, suffocating. Around us, every object, including the cupboards, has started to rattle as well. I mean, she can climb on the ceiling, bro! She is pretty OP! Oh, I have a stuffy nose. Scent help. The noises from outside, foreboding rumble of thunder, and even the howling winds have begun to fade away, replacing by whispers, shouts, and cries of pain. Though inaudible, each beat and note bombards every crevice in my head with vague images and sounds. There is no time to make sense of everything, however. I mean, she covered the whole room with blood. I don't know if she's here, though. I'm already shouting, fueled purely by adrenaline, barking orders and making a break for the door that leads to the next room, the dining. It should take us straight to the foyer, where the main door is.
Move! Run!
Right in front of us, the mansion has started to change, and we're in the thick of it. However, instead of the dining room, like it's supposed to open to, the bedroom welcomes us instead. An image that lasts only about a second before the blood begins to seep into the room. Filtering into the walls, trickling from every nook and cranny, everywhere, furniture shakes and every beam rattles. Before we can even step back from the horror gradually unfolding in front of us, the door slams shut. A loud thud brings a sense of dread and chill creeping up in each of us. Along with it, another realization. The whole place is reordering itself. With the door closed tight behind us, showing no signs of budging, even though sheer force. There's no choice but to go forward and hope to all gods that it'll lead us to an exit. Hey, I heard you like the only one bed trope. A bloody shame, the Ashton Bella ship has been sunk. And they have two more people in their group right now. Marianne and Zach. Until then, running's the only thing we can do, spurred by nothing but fear and a sense of desperation to live.
It's useless, Ashton Frey.
But with each room we pass, it only becomes apparent that the house has no intention of letting us leave. It lured all of us here, and we've fallen for it. Now it's playing a little game with us. A sordid form of amusement. For whom? Their laughters are the only thing we can hear. With every hall we cross and door we slide open, the hope of finding an exit merely dwindles. The gun on my hip is useless here. I'm useless here. Some fucking genius I am. Some fucking person to trust I am. All of those, they mean nothing in the face of the unknown.
You finally figured it out, huh, Ashton Frey? Just give it up. We will eventually die because of you.
And you are going to die alone.
Shut your fucking mouth.
You know it's true, though.
All of it. It's why all you can do is tell us to shut up. You don't want to hear a single word, because you're already aware of it. You can't even admit it to yourself. Who's the coward now?
But no matter how hard you try, you're not gonna be able to save anyone.
The more gruesome the place turns, the bleaker our chances simply get. Oh, the windows are closed now! Wails and screams fill our ears as we pass by, words from a time and people long gone, laced with nothing but pure agony, calling out, reaching out to us. Their voices almost too real, as if we're not the only ones trapped here, that there are others begging for release from this wretched place. Is Johannes okay in the attic? Or maybe it's all just a show, a taste of what we will eventually be. Souls forever held captive in a never-ending nightmare. I don't think he's okay.
Mother, I've done it, Mother. Take me with you, please. I can still hear her. She's here.
So did they kill a bunch of people to appease a spirit? And it didn't work?
Help me! Help me, please!
Is this what the curse is? Is what it means for all of us? The letter is not a morbid cry for help, but an invitation. Oh, it's you guys? It's the people who read the letter who make the letter? A beckoning for unsuspecting souls to be dragged into this place's horrors? To be put under centuries and centuries of torment and agony? Suddenly, dying a painful death seems preferable, enticing than ending up here, living a tortured existence. Or perhaps it's all the same. Still, hope worms its way into me. Not a usual thing for someone like me. But after going through the countless doors and corridors, every little sign of hope I'm willing to cling to, as long as it can get us out of here. We're back in the dining room again. How long have we been running? How long since we've left the kitchen? Where are Luke and Hannah? At some point, I've lost track of time. With the windows barred tight and the sounds lifting in the air, nothing but shouts and shrieks, it's impossible to tell. Not that it matters when an end is in sight. Shelves and furnishings bar the door, each stained with blood and gore. That if the situation isn't as desperate as it is, I'll find a different way out. Dude! Just move the furniture! Dude! There's 4 of you! But there's still a gap at the topmost part for a person to go through, as long as you use the shelves to climb.
It's next, all right.
From here, I can spy the familiar walls of the foyer. Relief. Only relief washes over me. Although my legs have been strained taut by all that running, and every bone and muscle in my body ache, there's only an easing. A sense of tension, relieving while energy backflows through me again at the sight of an end. No sooner I'm leading us out of it. Zack helps McConnell first, assisting her up and through the gap before giving a hand to Isabella. The moment the ladies are in, I nod for him to go through.
Go ahead. I'll watch your back.
Surprisingly, he does that without any protests. Not that there's any need to. Sometime after entering this room, the whole place has calmed down. But it wants Ashton to be alone. No wails, no whispers. Just a silence too deafening. But I'm not letting my guard down until everyone's on the other side of this nightmare safe. For all I know, this may just be a calm before another storm. Without further incident, however, Zack makes it to the other side and I'm following after him. However odd this hush is, I turn my back from it and climb up. It's a tight fit, but I manage to squeeze myself in. The unease remains, though. Maybe it's the adrenaline still coursing through me, or how easy everything has been after living through the nightmare, fleeting as it is. But for some reason, something's still nagging at me. You're gonna turn around and you're gonna be alone. Call it a detective's instinct or my training or whatnot. I have a feeling something's going to happen and catch us unprepared. Unconsciously, before dropping down on the better side of the stream, my hand shifts to the gun at my hip. Instinct has never failed me before. Oh, okay, we are all in the foyer. Okay. My feet haven't even landed firmly on the floor when.
Had I known there would be a party in my own home tonight, I would have opened a bloody bottle or two.
Oh.
People these days, in my own home. Can you believe it? I feel so left out.
Is he gonna go American? A chill seeps into every vein in my body. All of a sudden, every ache, every pain returns to me tenfold, and my knees threaten to buckle at the sound of his voice. Because he technically has every right to shoot intruders in his home. Though it appears friendly, I know it's anything but. One does not spend investigating a man like him for over a year and holding a grudge against him for more, without knowing everything about him. His quirks, his habits, I'm familiar with all of them. And right now, Luke fucking Wright is beyond pissed. Shifting my gaze upwards is nearly too painful knowing the danger. Not to me, but to those who have been lured in here by the curse. Oh, he does have a gun! Okay. The gun catches my eyes first, next to the schmarmy smile on his face while he holds McConnell, Zack, and Isabella at gunpoint. Well, he can only shoot one of them. So he's gotta choose, unless, like, they line up their heads, but even then. It's a sight enough to lodge a painful thorn up my throat. I've been too complacent, too focused on other things that I've completely set aside the fact the scumbag will not be too pleased to see us here without knowing our reasons. But even with those with those good intentions, curses, and ghostly apparitions aside, we're still trespassing in his home. The question is, if he's even aware the whole of his household has somehow disappeared, and he might be the only one here. Likely not. Fuck. Even with people he knows among the crowd, there's a significant effort in him not to simply shoot everyone in sight. Well, technically he knows everyone but you, Ashton, to be completely fair. Ah, fair enough. It doesn't surprise me that Luke has a gun, honestly.
And really, Lily, even you.
Sir, this isn't what you're thinking. Something's going on in this mansion.
I'm surprised you remember their nicknames.
Well, obviously, why else would people be trespassing in my home? What's your excuse? Checking back if your clients are doing okay? Is that it? Is this what this is? Oh, we're doing good, by the way.
Twins on the way, I've heard.
Sir, please.
Oh, please what?
We need to get out of this place. You need to leave.
Tut, not a good enough excuse, darling. You people are the ones who need to get out of my sight. Don't worry, I might consider pressing lighter charges for the woman. Can't say the same for the rest of you. But really now, I swear the people of this city need to be taught the meaning of privacy. This is how you want to start the week. Why don't we just go with a bloody massacre if we want to surprise people in their homes, huh?
Casually, he waves the handgun at them, as if it's just a mere toy and his words are no threat. The safety is off on his, nothing stopping him from pushing through with his words. Call me paranoid, but at the slight gesture, I draw my own and level it at him. Finger on the trigger and ready to release and safely catch in case things go south. Yeah! Fair, fair. He is quick to train his own on me, though, and just like that, we're at a standstill.
Now, Feathers. Manners.
He has an earring? I didn't know he had an earring.
You're in no position to be pointing that gun at people.
Why don't you put yours down first, and then we'll talk about manners.
Oh, he talks back. The gall!
He's doing it for the drama.
You know, your kind pisses me off so much.
Okay, what do you mean by this? Shooting him right now would be so worth it with the way he stares at me, like I'm a damn pest, but this isn't what I've come here for. I'm not a murderer. As much as I loathe him, I'm not the kind who would kill people in cold blood, for my own gain or amusement. The law will bring him what he deserves one of these days. At the moment, however, we're all in the same boat with this curse, and he needs to understand that. Excuse me. Oh, I'm burping Gatorade. The longer we stand here, the more time we're wasting and losing. Something we don't have much of. But how can I convince him? This scum is so full of himself. Prefers to hear the sound of his own voice than those of the people around him, no matter how much sense they make. Probably the only way I can make him listen is if I bet. No way in hell that's happening. Oh no! Shit. He's not gonna listen to begging. Like, he'll entertain it. No shit, Sherlock. We're gonna disarm him by shooting him, aren't we? But if we beg him, okay, wait, I'm gonna cheat a bit. Hang on, I'm gonna cheat a bit. I'm gonna cheat a bit. Hang on. I'm cheating a bit. How far are we? Okay. Yeah, it is ending determined. Okay. I want to hear Ash beg. Let's hear Ash beg. Oh no. Shoot him. No, beg. Shoot. Beg. Shoot. Beg. Okay, yeah, let's listen to Ash beg. Okay. Ash beg. My life's not the only one at risk here, however. There's Zach. There's Isabella. McConnell's here as well. We're all unknowing victims to this fucking curse. I'm in no position to pick who to save and who I should simply let die. I suppose my pride can take a few hits, and I can set aside my beef with this asshole. Taking a deep breath, I lower my pistol. Though still on the edge and ready, in this case he does something. In case he does something, I do my best to assume a less aggressive stance.
Listen, right. I need you to...
You broke into my house, and somehow, you expect me to listen like a good little boy.
He has a point.
Are you a bit touched in the head, Feathers? I'm not the one breaking laws here.
Look here, fucker. If I wanted you dead, I could have done it so many times already. In fact, I can easily shoot you down right here, right now.
Shoot his toes!
And you won't be able to do a damn thing, even with that gun.
Suddenly he laughs, almost howling in fact, like I've just told him the best joke he's heard all his life. The only thing missing is for him to kneel over and start rolling around on the floor. All while I do my best not to sock him with the sorry end of my pistol.
You have guts, Feathers. You have guts. Did you hear what you just told me? You've just threatened me inside my own house. My own home.
That doesn't surprise me. He is a police officer.
You know what I'm thinking right now?
You watched a guy eat his own eyeball.
In another lifetime, we would have probably gotten along well.
In a different route, we probably would have gotten along well. Press X to doubt. He's right on that, at least. I might have ended up like him if I didn't have Professor Andrew, Rebecca, Zach, and Isabella. One mistake, and it would have been too late for me. With his laughter rings all of those possibilities I could have lived, but have never been given the choice. All because I have other people with me, people who care. A sobering realization. But not so much when suddenly his chuckling stops. In 2 heartbeats, he marches towards me, grabs my collar, and aims his gun right at my head.
Ashton!
Hey, now you two, I'm sure we can all talk about this first.
At this distance, a slight flick of that finger on the trigger will be able to do more than kill me.
What is it that you people really want with me? This is the 2nd time this week, and I'm really getting weary of this little game. Did the NCA send you to apprehend me, or has somebody paid you off to kill me? Which one is it, Feathers? Mind you, my arm's getting tired. Better answer quick if you don't want to beat the business end of this gun.
I keep my eyes trained on him, in spite of the huge threat he poses right now. Because if there's anything like people like him, like us, prefer, it's honesty. You don't give that impression without keeping a solid eye contact.
I'm not with NCA. I'm just here to help. There's something else in this house, and we're all in danger. You have to believe me, right? You need to let us go. You need to get out of here before it's too late. If you want to keep your sorry ass alive, you'll listen to people with more brain cells than you.
Why, you insolent!
It's never his turn with the brain cell. I'm sorry, Ashton. His finger moves, but I am prepared. My hand ready to reach up, disarm him, and lock him out. If I have to drag him out of this place unconscious to keep him from suffering the fates of every other person who has died from this curse, so be it. Then you're okay with leaving Johans? Damn, okay. However, before either of us can fire a shot or tackle the other to the ground, another voice echoes throughout the foyer. A small little thing compared to the storm raging outside. It rings above it, nevertheless, causing all of us to stop and turn. Hana? At the top of the stairs, Hana Wright stands. To make matters worse, that thing's behind her, menacing. A rotting hand wrapped firmly around her neck. She looks like death. Pale and shaky, eyes red with tears, we nearly don't hear her as she pleads.
Luke, help me. Please.
Outside, another streak of lightning flashes, and a clap of thunder ripples across the sky. As if this whole thing can't get any more foobar than it already is. Dang! Okay. Oh, Luke's is very long too. Ashton is at 7%? What? I went through all of that and you're telling me that's 7% of his story? Well, yeah, that doesn't surprise me that much, looking through all of it like this. Yeah, there's also like a lot of different matches I can do. Like I can kill Isabella off and then keep everyone else alive. Like, I can kill all these people off, I can keep one alive, I can... Like, there's a bunch of combinations I can do here. Of who can be alive, who's dead. Is it? Cause there's one route that obviously a lot of choices happens. And then there's the I'm just reading. Cause there's that one really long line of no choices and just straight up reading. Oh wait, no. Wait. Yeah, there's that one really long line of no choices and just straight up reading. Which I believe that's considered the common route. Oh no! We're not in the common route! I thought we were going... Okay, so... We're on that butterfly. So we're in, like... And then it goes here. And then so... Oh god. We have a lot of choices. We're running into a lot of choices, boys. And then we're gonna go into a place that has even more choices. And then reading, and then... Oh god. Oh god. I hate choices. But yeah, I should call it here, honestly. As interesting as this is, I need to go to bed. I need to get ready to go to bed. But yeah. Thank you everyone for coming. I hope everyone has a wonderful day, night, morning, afternoon, wherever you are. Thank you, Mozzie. I appreciate it. Huh. What a horrible person to decide who lives and who dies. But yeah. Take care, everyone. I do not have the social capacity to raid anyone. But yeah. Please do take care. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, night, morning, wherever you are. That's it for me. This is Fern. Over and